Hello everyone, welcome back to Mage Knight. I realized, looking over the last episode, that it didn't record any sound. There's not a lot of sound in Tabletop Sim, just like you occasionally hear dice clatter and stuff like that, cards shuffle and so on. But I went to all the trouble of not putting on any music so that we could instead record the game sound, and then it wasn't there. So yeah, just a mistake I made with my recording software. It's been so long since I recorded anything with sound that I forgot what you're supposed to do. Well, I forgot the way in which it's usually broken would be maybe a more accurate way to say it. So we're moving on. If you don't, if this is totally unfamiliar to you, please go back to episode 1 of this playlist. But we're playing Mage Knight. We made it to day 2, and I think we had a pretty productive. Well, I'm sorry, we made it to night 1. We had a pretty productive day 1. We leveled up twice, almost 3 times. After conquering a mage tower and paying mana to an altar. And we got some sort of wandering monster there as well. I'm a bit worse for wear with 3 wounds in deck. As you can see, 1 here. But all in all, we're getting powerful reasonably quickly. Let's see. So yes, these tactics that were used in the last day are removed from the game. We can't ever use them again. And it's time to pick a night tactic. Generally during the night, everything is a little bit more powerful. Both the players and... is it fair to say that the events are more powerful? Not really, I guess. It's just a little bit scarier. Moving is a little bit different. You can't always see what you're moving into. Right, like remember we saw that a keep, the defenders of the keep are revealed if you're next to it during the day. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. Like this ancient ruins, you could see it from... We were standing here and we could see what was in the ancient ruins. But at night, you have to walk on them to see what's there. Or maybe adjacent, I don't remember. But there's also effects that the player has are more powerful. These tactics are generally a bit better, and spells, you have access to black mana at night, which lets you activate the most powerful the more powerful half of a spell card always costs black mana, which you can only spend at night. There are certain difficult things you can do, which are like, you behave as though it is night while you are doing this, and so you can do those things during the day, but that's because you're pretending it's not day. So we have Tremor/Earthquake, which lets us use black magic to basically be very good at fighting multiple enemies during the night. Or even like one enemy, you could, if you had like a ranged attack, anyway, it could be useful. But against one enemy, it's often just like a kind of mediocre attack. It's really against multiple enemies like cities where it shines. Okay, so what tactic do we want? I think we're probably going to heal this wound, since I happen to have Tranquility. I would prefer to heal 2 wounds, but you can't have everything, right? So Long Night lets you use 3 of your cards twice randomly. Mana Search lets you have access to better mana. I think I have plenty of mana, so I don't really want that. Midnight Meditation lets you kind of redraw once per round. Preparation, put any 1 card into your hand. Now that's an interesting thought. I could take a wound. I could prepare my wound and cure it with the green dye, or the green mana from the source. That's actually a pretty nice idea, I think. Just so I don't draw a wound later, I draw it when I can deal with it. Or last, there's Despairing Power, which is kind of a build-up to a powerful turn. Every turn you set aside a card, and then eventually you say, I want all the cards. So you would you get like a powerful turn where you start with like 3 or 4 more cards than usual that you could use to attack some powerful enemy. I think we're going to take Preparation, believe it or not. And the dummy will take Midnight Meditation. Okay. I would have liked that one eventually, but fine. So I'm going to search my deck for a wound. And shuffle, because I believe now technically I know the order. And I could plunder the village to draw more cards, but I don't really need any. I mean, it would be nice. What I plan to do is heal both of my wounds and walk here and explore. And I'll have 1 movement wasted after that. But I don't want to pay a reputation to get 2 cards when I probably won't. I want to end my turn here anyway, because it's a crystal mine. So, okay, so we're gonna start our turn with taking some green mana from the source to heal these 2 wounds. Goodbye. Hello? I know you want to go in there. Am I insane? Like this, I didn't have any trouble doing this last time I played. I know I can just delete them. It's an infinite box, but like, I'm really confused about what's happening there. Okay, whatever. Go away. I guess I could have put them in removed from the game. It doesn't matter. It's an infinite pile. Okay, and then we're going to play both of our moves to move for 4. Right. So I don't have any left over because I want to explore this, right? I have 4, 1. I spent 3 of my 4. I have 1 left. I want 2 to explore. So I can either play Battle Versatility sideways, giving up on it as a useful attack, but using it as a move. Or I could spend 1 of my mana tokens to empower one of these moves. Or I could do neither and just not explore right now. I think I have enough mana. I shouldn't be shy using it. I'm going to pick blue. I took like a skill and an action that give me mana, so I really should be spending it. There is a reward at the end of the game for having mana, but it's not that big. Not nearly as big as like actually utilizing it. In last game, I ended up with like 8 mana I wasn't using, and I felt kind of bad about it. So, okay, we have now 3 movement. I spend 2 of it to reveal this tile. And I could still play this sideways to move here, which would be progress. But instead I'm going to just end my turn here because we're on a crystal mine, which I've mentioned but not told you what it does. Crystal mines. If you end your turn on a mine, gain 1 mana crystal of the color that the mine produces to your inventory. You might have guessed that just from what it looks like. But I'm just going to end here. Keep this because, like, to fight this guy, I don't know exactly what I'll want, but this should help somehow. It's a flexible combat card. For example, maybe I could Tremor him and then ranged attack for 3. That would be okay. That's another reason to have spent blue instead of green, is that my spell is green. Got it. Okay, anyway. Oh, it was Goldix's turn this whole time. Sure. He did, I guess, choose a thing before me. Okay, whatever. Now my turn starts and I'm doing all this stuff that I should have done. That I should have waited to do. But okay, I've now done everything, and I'm going to end my turn. Have you gained a crystal from the mine? I haven't. So give me a white mana crystal. I kind of like stacking them, but I found out the game prefers that you keep them separate. And it's totally fine to do so because you can never have more than 3 of any color. So there's like room for 4 rows of 3, or 4 columns of 3. Okay. Confirm my hand size? Yes, it should be 5. Yes, great. Now the dummy is going to go. Ugh. So the dummy, notice, has one more crystal than before. At the end of every round, he gains the leftmost card from this pile, and also gains a crystal of the color of the leftmost spell. And so you can kind of control his deck by giving him, like, by arranging for him to take cards that don't match the color of his crystals or whatever. But I generally don't worry about that. Usually I feel like it's more important to work out, to take the cards that are good for you. All right, so what do I have? No moves. Well, no, that's not true. This is a move. Yeah, I should just go kill this guy. I can totally do that, no problem. All it cost me is a white mana, or no, a green mana, which there is in the source. This was black. There's a green mana in the source, so let's go. I'm going to spend this to move 2, and then I will concentrate a swift attack. Did we do this last round? I don't remember. I don't think we needed to. No, I think we did. I think this is how we killed the other guy. So I have a ranged attack 5 now, because remember, concentrate gives you 2 more if you pay for its green effect. And I moved 2. Gonna fight this guy. And notice this guy is slightly more powerful than the last one. I think the last one might have had 4 or 5 armor, I don't remember which. And also 3 attack. But he didn't have this kind of like crossbow icon on the right side of his card. And if we look up here, we can see that this is Swift. To block this enemy, you need twice as much block as its attack value. So while it only attacks for 3, and therefore you would only take 1 wound if it hit you, if you want to stop it from hitting you, you have to pay 6 block. But that's not going to come up because we're just hitting him with a ranged attack that destroys him before he even fights. So we're going to get 1 fame, 1 reputation, and 3 fame, and that's enough to level up. Great. Now I get to pick another skill, and I believe the rule that I forgot when I was playing my off-camera game, just to brush up on the rules, is so every time you take a skill token, the dummy player also puts a skill token here. And if you want, you can take one of the dummy's old unclaimed skill tokens. But if you do, you must take the leftmost advanced action. So it's kind of like the one that nobody wanted. So let's see, what do we have available? This is once around. Let me think. It'll tell me if I mouse over, but I'm just trying to make sure I understand the iconography. Once around, if you have less than some number of cards, gain a green token? What? That doesn't make any sense. I think it's like once around, draw 2 cards. I remember that existing. And in some circumstances, you also gain a green mana. Flip this to draw 2 cards. If you have the least fame, yeah, I thought, okay, also gain a green mana token. All right, that's what I thought. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. But we also already have a lot of ways to gain green mana, to gain mana in general. So what is this? Ooh, influence every turn that's better at night, or movement every turn that's better at night. I really like the idea of moving. Moving is so good. And I guess the card we decomposed was an attack, so we don't really have the option to take anything like that. But yeah, movement is great. I'd love some influence, don't get me wrong, but I'd love this because it gives me permission to burn up my movement cards. All right, I guess I should have looked at the cards available at 2 before I did anything, but this is an ice block, mana storm, kind of an even better version of mana draw / mana pull, I think. Yeah, you can basically crystallize mana straight from the source and then re-roll it. Or re-roll them all and then use 3 extras. This doesn't make sense in a solo game because there's only 3 total. So you'd be using 2 extra. And you can use black or gold as if it were any basic color, regardless of the round. This is any basic color, right? Not black? Yeah. Okay, so that's a way to manipulate mana some more. I don't think I really want to do that. And then there's this Intimidate, which, you know, we haven't done any shopping yet, but that's what influence is for. And this is kind of a way to gain influence that the locals don't really appreciate, and you lose reputation for it. I mean, I'm not that far from a village. I could head over there. I don't really want to. I'm kind of more inclined to go back towards the keep, honestly. In which case, like, Ice Shield might be a lot better. It's a mediocre block. But if you power it with blue mana, it's also a pretty useful attack, as well as a block. Reducing their armor is a lot like attacking them, right? And it sort of combos with Tremor we have, which also reduces someone's armor. So I don't know. I think I'll take Ice Field. I don't really want more mana, and I can't spend the Intimidate soon, and we're drawing it like next turn. So, okay. I have now claimed my rewards. And we're drawing up to 5 still, right? Right. Cool. The dummy draws just 3, perfect, and he still has 4 left, so I've got some time. But I do have 8 cards in my deck, so I kind of need to hurry a bit. I drew my Threaten. I don't have any moves, but I have a move here. How nice. Well, trying to figure out how I should be assaulting the keep here, because I think that's the most productive thing I can do. I just don't have enough move. And what I want to do is decompose something and then play something sideways for a third move. But that requires 3 cards, and I kind of want to keep all 3 of these in hand. Obviously, these goals are incompatible. I think I want to decompose my Threaten. I guess I don't really need Mana Pull. I seem to have enough mana from decomposing stuff, so I guess that's the idea. I'll decompose with red mana my Threaten, gaining more green, some blue, and more white. I really need to start spending this. And I'll play my Mana Pull sideways for 1 move, and my 2 moves here, because it's night, get me to this square. End turn. Yes, my hand size should be 5. Oh, we're lucky. Once again, he whiffed, so I get 1, 2, 3 more turns. I should be able to get through my deck usefully that way, I think. Any moves? Still no moves. Oh yeah, battle versatility plus a bunch of ways to reduce their block means I should be able to siege attack them down without having to block at all. You can't play wounds sideways to gain an anything, so I think we're just going to play this. Well, I think I should be able to play this empowered with my with this thing, right? So I should be able to give them armor -4, and then a siege attack 2 should finish them off. The problem is, I think they might actually... I don't think any keep enemies have fortified printed on them. Maybe they do. Because they're in a keep, they're fortified, and if they also have fortified printed on them, they're like double fortified, and you can't even use siege attack on them. And that would be kind of unpleasant, but I don't think that happens. I just like... Yeah, there's no way I need more than a single earthquake. I don't need this ice field to reduce their damage even more. I'm pretty sure I can play this as a move to keep my influence in hand and assault the keep. Oh, fuck me, it's got fortified printed on it. Okay. Well, that's another wound, I guess. I wish I had that card now. Yeah, that's the downside of nighttime, is I couldn't know this was coming. I guess I could have, I don't know, looked through the deck of gray cards to see, like, let's just do that real quick. I'll justify to myself changing the decision. Yeah, there are those guys. So, and the most damage you could ever have to do would be 10. Oh no, not even 10. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I should be careful and not be so greedy as to keep my influence in hand. How much influence is left in my deck? I have 1 influence card, which should be... improvise or whatever it is, the card that's discard something and gain anything including influence. I wish my hand would stop flickering, by the way. It only shows up for you guys. It looks fine for me. So I think I'm going to cheat a little bit here and just make sure that in case I run into this guy, I don't get a wound. Tell you what, let's put him back. We got the same one. I think it's not shuffling. The R button doesn't work. Shuffle? There we go. All right, it's a different guy. So now I'm not even getting the benefit of knowing what's coming up. I'm just knowing what was possible, choosing that in case I run into that, I don't take any wounds. But I don't get this influence, which is something I would have liked to have. Actually, is there even anyone available to keep right now? Yeah, the Utum Swordsman for 6. Okay, so maybe I'll get them, maybe I won't. But anyway, we're fighting these guys. And so my plan is to siege attack him for 2. And so I need him to have at most 2 armor. Which I can do by spending either a blue or a green mana, as well as the red that I'm spending, to get a siege attack out of this. I guess I'll spend green? Because I have more of it? So now his armor is only 2. And then I'll grab some red out of the source to siege attack him for 2 before he gets to attack me. And I kill him. So we conquered the keep. We get 2... Sorry, why only 2 fame? Should be 4? I don't see any reason. Oh, it's because I moved the token and flipped some shit around. Okay, we'll see. It should be 4, thank you. And I'm losing 1 rep for assaulting a keep. Sure. Looks about right. But owning a keep is generally valuable. Yes, draw up to 6. So the benefit of a keep, first of all, you can hire stuff out of it, which is cool. But also, if you End your turn on or adjacent to a keep you own. Your hand limit is 1 higher for each keep you own. And so in a number of solo games, off camera, you know, what you end up conquering, like, it depends on what's around, what you can handle, and so on. But one thing that can be nice to do is conquer a number of keeps. And if there's a keep near a city, then when you're finally trying to assault the city, you can start your hand with a ton of cards. I actually was starting with like 8 cards when I was taking on cities in my last game. Hang on. Should I have done something differently here? No. I was thinking I maybe had a chance to use this, but I didn't. I could have just like not re-rolled this red die, but I wanted to re-roll it anyway. So, okay, fine. Yep, I have claimed all my rewards. We got my fame, I guess. I wasn't watching, but I assume we did because I told it I should. And we draw up to 6. Great. The dummy goes, and we're going to get 2 more turns to finish things off. Yeah, so here's my influence card. So I could buy the Udam Swordsman. My reputation is currently at neutral. I've done some good things, I've done some bad things. If you do a lot of bad things, it's very, very expensive or even impossible to bargain with locals. If you do a lot of good things, it gets cheaper to bargain with locals. They appreciate it and they're willing to help you out. We're sort of walking the line so far. So, I would sort of like, there's not much else I can do this round except for explore these tiles and buy the swordsman. So, how do I go about doing that? I want to like improvise discarding this with a red token to gain 5 influence. And I'll play this sideways for a 6th and buy the Udam Swordsman. And now I have these units. They follow me around everywhere, and I can occasionally use them. We'll talk about how that works later. But you can either attack or block with them, or you can attack or block more, but it hurts the unit. And you know, we'll get to the combat details of what that means later. And this turn, what's my last card? It's another move. Okay. I don't think there's any reason to spend any of these tokens, any of these cards right now. I'll have them both in hand next turn, and then I can decide what to do with them. And I might be able to power them with mana from the source, which might be nice. So yeah, we'll just end turn here. Yep. Dummy declares end of round, so this is my last turn. And what color is the die? It is useless, gold. So during the day, I forget if we even talked about this. During the day, black mana is useless, and gold mana is a wild card. At night, it's sort of the opposite, but not quite. Gold mana is useless. It's like the sun coming up or whatever, the night is ending. Black mana isn't a wild card. It's like the thing that empowers spells. So we've talked about how that's what black mana does, but in particular in the source, that's how black and gold differ from day and night. Okay, well, I don't have a lot of cool things to do right now, I'm afraid. I just... like, play both of these? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's play just one of them first. To explore, I guess, this tile first? And then I might, what shows up there might make me change my mind, perhaps. Like maybe I don't want to explore this, maybe I just want to go stand here. So this is actually, this is a tomb, I think is what that's called? No, it's just a dungeon. So this is one of those things I was talking about, that combat happens there as if it were night. You reveal a brown enemy token, which is like medium difficulty, and fight it. Night rules apply and units cannot be used. They're not going to be so stupid as to follow you into a dungeon. And you gain either a spell or an artifact. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. And while conquered, right. You can go back and find another monster. And oh, I hit space. I guess that resets the camera. You can go back and fight another monster, and you still get the fame for fighting the monster, but you don't get the reward for... Oh, look at that! They have a special die for this. That's so cute. But you don't get the special dungeon reward of an artifact or a spell. Artifacts are really good. So one thing I could consider doing would be moving there to end my turn on the dungeon, if I felt that I might be able to clear it next turn. Or I could just, like, spend my move to reveal this, and then next turn if I want to move, I'm going to want to reveal this anyway, I might as well do it now. Oh, by the way, there's a monastery here. At a monastery, you can hire, monk-type things. These guys both appear at the monastery. That's the icon for monastery on the left side of the card. And also at the monastery, it sells advanced actions that you can buy for, I think, 6 each. Normally you only get advanced actions when you level. This is another way to get them, is you buy them from the monastery. This is like a move and heal. It says if played during combat, move 2 only. Why would you ever want to move during combat? Well, there's at least one card that makes movement during combat useful. So if this happened to combo with that, you could play it, but it's pretty niche. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna spend my move now on revealing another tile. Okay, another mage tower. Great. And yes, this one is also a dungeon. I thought it was a tomb. It's not. Tombs should show up on core tiles. We're still exploring the countryside. After, I think, the last 4 card tiles in this deck are like more dangerous terrain. These are kind of normal terrain. Okay. And I may as well, since I have nothing better to do... Oh, wait a minute. I get +2 moves every night. So I can reveal all that and move if I want. No, but not my shield. Move my character. And I think I'm happy to go here. I could go this way and head towards this one, but it's like harder to get to. Why not end here, right? And then I have, if I draw well at the beginning of next turn, I have the option to try out some combat for a nice reward. And if not, whatever. I can just head up here to this magical glade and maybe fight these ironclads. And as my last action of the turn, I will crystallize a mana of any color that I choose, basically. Well, not quite. It kind of has to be red. Oh. Well, I guess in that... Is there something weird I can do here? There's not, huh? Yeah, I don't have access to blue or green mana except by spending a crystal, which I don't particularly want to do. So what I'm going to do is activate this to gain a red crystal and a red token. And I'll spend the red token here as a mana token. And I'll pay that to turn the token into a crystal. There you go. So we're loaded on white and red and not really able to... Oh, I don't need to pick these up. Not really able to spend any of it. Oh, well. Yep, we are all set for the end of round 2. We're going to throw away Midnight Meditation and Preparation, and in the next episode, we're going to start day 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.